Welcome back. This is the week, of course, that shovels are going into the ground on the new arena for the NHL's Ottawa Senators. It's called the Palladium, and it has been a long wait. There were environmental hearings, financial pitfalls, design arguments, but now everything is set. And the new digs should put the Senators in better shape and make them able to compete financially in the NHL. More in tonight's Sports Desk Focus with Rob Sinclair.
That the Ottawa Senators can make money in the Civic Centre means they'll make plenty more in the new Palladium. With 8,000 more seats and a host of premium services, the Palladium should be profitable, which means the Senators are committed to staying in Ottawa.
Without any question. There's a 30-year lease commitment with huge penalties should the Senators not stay. So on the one hand, legally they have a very firm long-term commitment to stay.
The Palladium will also help the team's poor public image. The critics claim the Senators are in over their heads, both on and off the ice. The longer the Palladium was in doubt, the more doubts grew. But once construction starts, that should change.
Well, I think it'll really enhance the image of the city, and for the fans of Ottawa, really deserve this type of facility. We've had great support from the fans for the Ottawa Senators in our first 2 seasons, and we are in need and deserve now this type of facility. We're really ready for it and deserve it.
But according to Leader, the league never had its doubts, even though the promise was to have the building built by now. Problem was, it took 2 years to close the $200 million deal and notarize some 20,000 legal documents.
Never once did we get a call from the league saying, you know, what's taking so long. It was quite the opposite. A lot of support from the Commissioner's office.
I think the biggest pressure came from within. We wanted to get the building built. We knew we had to get it built. We always believed we would get it built. And today is, I think, the end of one very long, difficult task and the start of another.
Had it not gotten started, the Senators would have had to leave Ottawa. They wouldn't be able to survive much longer in the Civic Centre. Its capacity is only 10,500, so revenue is restricted. The Palladium, meantime, will generate 50% more revenue.
It will allow us access to larger volumes of revenue. Currently we have 10,000 season ticket holders. It's our aim to have 16,000 at the Palladium. When you start to fill the building to that capacity, you're able to generate other revenues like parking and concessions and merchandise and what have you that allow you on an aggregate basis to generate a larger income, which you then in turn can use some of to pay more successful players.
Now, as good as it sounds, the Palladium won't make a single buck until it's built. And that means the Senators will spend the next 2 years trying not to spend. So much cash is committed to the Palladium, the budget for buying players will stay small, about $13 million, and that's up 30% from last year. $3 million of that is already committed to Alexei Yashin and Alexandre Daigle. And newcomer Radek Bonk will want $1 million too. That leaves $9 million, a pretty constricted budget when players like Scott Stevens and Al MacInnis are getting $3 to $4 million a season.
Constriction might be too strong a word. It's been a challenge. I think that we've learned to do things more efficiently, and I think we're better for that. But I don't know that we're ready for a $4 million a year player yet. I think what we would like to do is to develop our own Scott Stevens or our own Al MacInnis.
20 seconds left on the penalty. Kudelski whips it across. Out to Glenn, one-timer. That's blocked. Rebound, bouncing in front. And a shot by Yashin, and they score. It's a 3-0 Ottawa lead. An enormous upset in the making again here in the Montreal Forum.
But that build through the draft philosophy changes when a team starts to contend. And when that happens in Ottawa, the Palladium will guarantee a revenue base needed to compete.
The team's ability to win will depend on the skill of management in applying financial resources to buy player contracts which give us the right talent, and the skill of the coaching staff to get the maximum performance from that talent. It won't be as a result of a limitation in our financial resources.
That's because, unknown to a lot of people, Ottawa is a big market. The only problem is it has no building big enough. So the fan base is there, and the Palladium will help exploit it.
We have a market which, within a 1-hour drive of our Palladium, there is 1,600,000 people, or just a few more. In Winnipeg, I believe a similar 1-hour drive would give you about 700,000 people. I don't know if I could have financed this project with half as big a drawing base.
With Ottawa's market base, the potential is there for 2 sports teams at the Palladium.
Well, certainly we would see looking at a number of different franchises over the next couple of years. I know that all the new arenas have more than one franchise. So there's the Indoor Soccer League. There's certainly the one that we like, which is the Indoor Lacrosse League. The roller hockey's catching on. That's a possibility. Indoor football, basketball, of course. So there's lots of opportunities for different teams.
But until that happens, the only team to profit from the Palladium will be the Senators.
A significant portion of the revenues in the building will be pledged to service the debt on the building. But there's no doubt with the increase in seats and what follows with that, with parking and concessions and those types of revenues, it will allow our fans not only to enjoy a better hockey team, but a team that has a chance to win a Stanley Cup.
Now, before everyone starts celebrating, let's keep in mind that no one building ever won a team the Stanley Cup. But the promise of the Palladium is that should the Senators win the Stanley Cup in the next 30 years, they'll win it right here in Ottawa. Rob Sinclair, TSN, in Ottawa.